Hey everybody, Shifty Sunday is about to start, so sit back, relax, undo your slacks, and for God's sakes, man, zip up your fly and eat some snacks because Shifty Sunday starts right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Shifty Sunday. I'm your host with the most that likes jelly beans on his toast, Hebro77, here with a brand new co-host, Amazon Lion. And tonight we're going to have lots of fun. We got funny memes, we got some subjects to talk about, and we got some other stuff to talk about. Weird stuff too. So, for the first time ever, you guys are going to hear the comic stylings of Amazon Lion. No, I'm just kidding. Not the comic stylings, but Amazon, you there?
I'm here.
All right, all right, all right. You ready to have a shifty Sunday night?
I am so ready. I could not be more excited, Hebro. And thank you for everybody who has jumped in and is listening.
Well, we've got Eddie Von Kuhn, we got Nicole Ackerman, we got Go Kart Bob, the first one in here.
I'm looking forward to hopefully more subscribers. I have shared and I couldn't be more eager to do this. So let's do this.
Let's do this. Let's get started. Before we get started, though, last week on Shifty Sunday, me and no, it wasn't Shifty Sunday. It was Twisted. I believe it was Twisted Thursday. Me and Saji were talking about you, and we were talking about a certain incident that happened to you. You hurt your foot here recently, did you not?
I sure did. I am very hard-headed, and even though I know I shouldn't do something, I like to take a job on of 2, sometimes 3 men all alone and hurt myself. Would you like to hear that story?
I would, and I think our audience would too.
All right. Well, I'm one that loves to do yard work and housework for people who are needing a helping hand. And I was out and about in the yard, saw that there was a huge giant branch, dead, just hanging there, and really didn't, the thought came across my mind, I didn't want anybody to get hurt. So I worked my hiney off at getting that branch down, and I got that branch down, and I was so proud of myself. I broke it down as much as I could because all I had was clippers. Huge clippers, and I wanted to really get the job done to help the other person because I'm bound and determined like that. And I threw that big giant branch over my shoulder and I carried it across the yard all the way to the wood pile, and I went to go set it down, and it decided, hey, let's break in half right when she's going to set it down. And the part that the half that I didn't have a hold of fell directly on top of my foot. And it's been pretty sore. It has quite a bit of pain that shoots through it, but I'll get it checked out, and I know that, who's on my side, and I know that everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, well, that's quite the story. And I'll tell you what, we have pictures. There was a bonfire that took place here recently, like Friday night, I do believe it was. And you showed that branch who was boss.
I did. I had a bonfire, and one of the first things I burned was that big old giant branch.
And Amazon Lion. Amazon Lion. That's the name. I'll tell you what. First of all, why don't you give the audience a little bit of insight of how you got the name Amazon Lion, if you don't mind.
Well, I mean, people that know me know that I'm not exactly what you call petite. I have a pretty big build on me. And I felt so Amazonian out in the world because I'm one of the kindest people out there with the most loving heart. But people were afraid of me because of my build. And I thought, how silly. But I gave myself a name for it, and it was Amazonian. I'm an Amazonian woman, not a small build. And I knocked it down to Amazon. And Lion came from because I'm a Leo. I was born in August, the days of the Leo. So therefore, coming up with Amazon Lion for myself.
Oh, I see. See, guys, for those of you that don't know, she is a combination of what would happen if China and Wonder Woman and Xena, all three, had a baby. I'm just saying. You are. You're like China, Xena, warrior princess baby.
Thank you, Hebrew.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Should be Amazon. Yeah, that's what Amazonian Lion. That's what she called herself at first. But Amazon, everybody orders from Amazon, so they get their packages, and just Amazon. That's another thing. That's another story altogether.
You would be correct.
Mm-hmm. So, everybody, you're new to this, and this is your first time out. You're on here in the box, so to speak, and you've been in the audience, from the outside looking in, and now you're inside looking out, and we've had many talks, and we talked about the Mandela effect, and we talked about conspiracy theories and whatnot have you, and there was
which have been very interesting.
There was one night in particular where we were talking to Sandy. Everyone knows Sandy Diva, who's in the community, and she told you some Mandela effects that I think kind of blew your mind away a little bit.
Oh yes, it was more than I could concept at the moment. My brain likes to work a bit slow, but everything that we talked about was very interesting and very surprising.
So, okay, first of all, let's let people know you are not Mandela affected. Correct?
No.
But some of the Mandela effects did catch you off guard, did they not?
Yes, they caught me off guard. I was very surprised, from the things that I remember to the things that are now. And I can definitely tell the difference in things.
Like, what are some of the things, do you remember, that we talked about?
Well, we had talked about, didn't we talk about George, the curious monkey?
Yes.
And whether he had a tail or not. I remember him having a tail, and I have no idea why.
Yeah. Because most monkeys have tails.
Yeah. Most do.
So Mark Basket talks about Richard Simmons now. Everyone remembers Richard Simmons wearing a headband. Do you remember Richard Simmons, what he looked like?
Not too much. I think I remember more of his voice and his moves.
Yeah. Sweating to the oldies.
Sweat to the oldies. I might have, sweat to the oldies a time or two.
Who, Richard Simmons? He didn't. He hung on a tree with his tail. He did? No, I'm just kidding. No, he's talking about Curious George from earlier, of course, but it's pretty funny. We're talking about Richard Simmons, and that happened to be a comment from earlier. But anyway, so a lot of people remember him having a headband, and he's never had a headband.
No, I don't think I remember a headband.
Oh, really?
Really?
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you remember wristbands?
I do.
You remember wristbands?
I do remember wristbands.
Well, now Mark Baskett says he's never had wristbands.
Huh. Interesting.
So that's a double Mandela effect. But we got a lot to cover tonight. We got a lot of things to talk about, and I'm glad that you could be here tonight. I'm glad that we're doing this show. It's nice to have a new co-host. I'm sure the audience is surprised by this new co-host.
I imagine they are.
So how do you like it so far?
I'm digging it. And I'm here. And so we've got a lot of topics to cover, as you stated. So let's get on it.
Let's get on it. Well, I think the first thing we need to do is show these guys some memes. What do you think about that?
Oh, that sounds good to me. Let's see them.
We got some memes for you guys out there tonight. Let me go ahead and let's play some What Do You Mean meme music. I think that would be good. Let's see. Let's do the Daydreaming tune. Turn it down a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit of ambience. Let me get into it. And feel free to freestyle it.
Roll that beautiful meme footage.
Here we go. Let's see. Here's the first What Do You Mean meme of tonight. Let me get my share screen. Share my screen. And there it is. Me completing the task I put off for 5 months that took me 5 minutes. Would you say that this is accurate to me?
I would say that's pretty accurate. Yes. Absolutely.
I put off a lot of stuff. I got that yard out there right now looking like a jungle. Needs to be mowed, but we've had lots of rain. Here's something that I go through all the time. Enter password. Password. Your password is incorrect. Incorrect. Try again. Again. Confused. Unga bunga.
I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. With my password, I always remember the correct password when it's already too late and I've gotten it changed. And finally found the piece of paper that I haven't wrote on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put in the password that I remember being my last password, and then they say, no, that was your last password. Put in another password. And then, you do it so many times, they want you to enter a new one. That goes. All right, so next meme. And I think this applies to both of us. What do you think?
Oh, I feel that way so often. I've lost count.
I think that this ties in perfectly to your whole tree branch incident.
Oh, absolutely. I am so accident prone. I feel like I'm one of the clumsiest people out there. But I still keep going through it all.
When people tell you to drop the negative people in your life, but you are the negative people in your life. This used to be me long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, I can't see myself being too negative. You know, I can't relate to that one because I am the one that tries to stay positive for negative people, hope that it helps them to make, the better changes in their life. But I can, self-destruct myself pretty bad. So, yeah, I think maybe in a way I can relate to that.
This is how my New Year's resolutions always go. This year, I resolved to drink less and go to the gym. I made it to the gym.
That looks like a really awesome gym.
A gym with a bar? Heck yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I could handle that, Jim.
Get your buzz on while you're getting your crunch on,
You know it. And then mellow in the therapy pool afterward.
That's right.
Just floating away on your back.
Okay, now these next memes, it's September. It's after, Labor Day's coming up. Labor Day's tomorrow. And, when we were growing up as kids, kids went back to school right after Labor Day. And now they're going back to school earlier. In fact, our kids started school, 2 weeks ago?
Oh my gosh, it was like the first week of August. And I remember us going to school like the middle of September, and it seems like every year they just make it earlier and earlier.
Yeah. But I thought that these memes would be appropriate for this time of year. And
oh, yeah.
There we go. Here's this one. I think everybody can agree with this. That's a parent.
Oh, absolutely. I always want to grab one of those great big confetti poppers, and make it go off as she's going out the door for her first day of school. Because this year she started high school.
And this is the truth right here. For all you kids out there that are wanting to grow up and become an adult, it's not that fun. Let me tell you. What if I told you being in school is much better than working every day and having adult responsibilities? There you go.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't give that conversation to my children more.
I was like, you think school's tough? Wait till you have to pay bills,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they've all said to me, why did I want to grow up so fast?
This one here, anyone that's seen Office Space? Yeah, if you could go back to school, that'd be great. Okay. There's that one. That one's not so great, but here you go. This one gave me a giggle.
Oh yeah. Throw your hands in the air like you just don't care.
Hallelujah. A lot of moms
Praise
can relate,
Jesus,
you
I'll
know.
tell you. Oh yeah, they can relate. When they're little, not so much. I remember crying when they were little off to school. They get older, and I just want to go party.
What girls feel like when someone says, "You look so much like your dad." Yeah.
I didn't get the opportunity to look more like my dad. I always hear one how I look just like my mother.
That's better. That's more of a compliment to say you look like your mother, though, I would think.
Right?
As far as looks go, I mean, you know. There's a lot of girls that look up to their dad.
Absolutely.
But I don't think they'd want to be told that they look like him. Just saying. Not a compliment, guys. Now, this one's kind of little, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it. Me after I have a mental breakdown and cut my bangs too short. You ever do this?
I've actually, yes, cut my hair when I'm having a breakdown. And it didn't always go so well, but I knew it would grow back. Especially as a teenager, I shaved my head.
I don't know if this is photoshopped or if they put this on the cat's head, but my question is, how do you put things on cats' heads? Like you see sunglasses and regular glasses and wigs like this. It seemed like, man, those cats, I've never seen a cat that patient before. I'm sorry.
Some cats actually like to get dressed up. I think that's pretty cool, actually. I would love to have a cat who likes to dress up, or even a dog.
Now, I had a cousin that used to dress her dog up as a baby all the time, and she would even put it in a, what do you call it, a carriage? And then she would push it down the street, and the little ladies would come up thinking it was a baby. And boy, would they get a surprise.
Oh, yeah, I've had friends, who have spent tons of money just on outfits alone for their pets, but those could be thought of as their babies, too. So I can understand that part.
And that is our last What You Mean meme of tonight. Yeah, they were kind of short tonight, guys. They were kind of short. So there you have it. I'm going to turn this music off. Oh, wait a second. And there we go. All right. So there's your What Do You Mean memes for tonight. And what'd you think of those?
I thought they were pretty good. It hit on a lot of small topics, actually. So that was pretty cool.
And we got Nicole Ackerman, actually, who's got a lot on her mind here tonight. There's a lot of comments there. I'll go back and read some of them, but she has had a lot of thoughts on her mind this week, and I think even last week had some very thought-provoking comments and just things. And just let's check some of these out. I'm going to go scroll back up. Let's see here. Nicole Eckerman. She is lighting up the comment section tonight. Okay, so the first comment, and we kind of read this backstage before we started the show. I know I am not on the right earth now. I was at a family picnic today, and my cousin does not remember making a fake Twitter account to harass a cousin we share bad news boyfriend. A bad news boyfriend. Okay, that's one thing. I'll tell you what, sometimes I really do have that feeling like we're living in a different I won't say a different earth, but a different dimension, so to speak. It is kind of crazy. You have certain things that that have happened to you, and you mentioned to other people, and they just look at you like you're an ape with three heads.
Yeah, there's quite a few that can look at you like that. I can understand that. I feel the same way about the dimensional thing. I don't feel like there's more than one, that's for sure.
And she also says here he even got into a fight with her under the fake account, and she never found out it was him. I asked him about it today because something my mom asked brought it up. The memory, and we both wanted to find out what name he used because it was ridiculous, but I can't remember that exact name. He said he would never do that, and that, are you sure it was not my older brother? It was him, his older, scroll down, brother is not like that and was in the military at the time, so it would not have been him. He has zero memory of doing this at all. I am now 100% sure that this is not the right earth. I know it is crazy. And no, it's not crazy. I
Nope,
mean,
it's not crazy.
it is a thing that occurs. Um, but totally feel that way, and it explains why people in my family personalities change drastically. Hmm, that's interesting. Very interesting. And there are also people who think I have kids and I do not have kids. I want kids but cannot have them. So it's ticking me off how a bunch of people think I have them or asking me if I have kids. Like, stop it, man. That's interesting because, this has nothing to do with phantom kids or anything like that. But, there's names and stuff like that I've known people for years, like Fizzy Pop and Stone Bender and stuff like that. And when you go and you tell them, your name's different, like Fizzy Pop to me was always spelled Fizzypop, and that she changed it. And she kept insisting that she's never changed it and has always been Fizziepop. And I have even gotten into an argument with her at one time over that. And it was interesting that Stonebender also had a name change as well that he doesn't remember doing. It wasn't a natural thing that had happened. It was something totally bizarre. And a lot of us in the Mandela affected community had that same experience. So the fact that we are in multiverses or multiple dimensions or something of that nature, I do believe that does exist. And what's interesting, you and I, we were talking about ghosts earlier and how they exist and stuff like that. And one of the theories that I do have is that a ghost isn't actually a person who has died necessarily, but maybe it's that person that is still alive, but in a different dimension that we can't get to. And I will even take it further than that, and how the Bible says heaven is not like above, like straight above us, like in the skies or whatever, and hell's not down below, but rather those places are actual places that do exist, but they exist in dimensions that we haven't quite found yet, or we cannot quite figure it out. And that's why when you think about people building a ladder to heaven or a tower to heaven and stuff, and God was laughing at him, said, "No, it doesn't work that way, first of all," and then saying that heaven really, the Bible tells us it's not really up and hell's not really down,
It's
but they.
funny you mentioned that about, looking up, because I will look at the stars so often and I will feel like I'm in the wrong place. like I'm supposed to be somewhere else. And so I'm looking at the stars so much deeper than just known as stars.
Hmm. And you know, a lot of times I notice that you are observing and you are looking at things, and you do see things in a different way than most people.
Than most people, yes. You know, I'm very observant and I'm very deep. You know, I don't just feel my own feelings, I feel everybody else's feelings too. You know, I can feel the environment that I am in. And often I will just look up and just feel like I'm in the wrong place.
The other theory that I had on ghost, and I even posted a video about it a year ago or so, is that they're not all people that have passed away, but they're actually beings that were here that have never lived before. They've been here on Earth, like it could be a demon or a fallen angel or even any kind of entity of some kind, like a
I've had a
comic
few
book.
experiences myself.
Mhm.
So, yes, I do believe in those things.
But when you think about it, I think a lot of times humans are fooled into thinking that it might be a loved one or it might be someone who they dearly miss, and the demon will play on that and pretend to be that person, and actually even can take the form of that person that you
Right,
miss or you
right.
love.
That's why I don't even come close to a Ouija board. Them things scare me.
Yeah, I don't
I
like
get a
messing with
bad
those.
feeling from
Yeah.
those. It doesn't matter where it is. You know, if someone's like put a board form on a coffee table, or if I even see one on TV, I want to turn the channel. There's just something about it that just really does not sit well with me.
You know, even in the Bible, it tells us, um, where it speaks about Lazarus, and it talks about, they asked him what he saw, and he said, "I saw nothing." He said, "I it was like being asleep." And I think honestly, we are all asleep when we die, and when the end comes, Revelations, when that comes, we're all going to rise again. We'll all have different bodies. We won't even be the same. We won't be in like human forms. Like it won't be the same thing. It says that in the Bible even, and I don't know where in the Bible it says it, but it's in Revelations where, you know, men will get a new, they will, our bodies are in the earth and they will rise again, just as Jesus did, because Jesus gave us the gift of resurrection. And it is through him. And if we are believers in Christ, and if we are followers of Christ, you can't just be a believer, because I don't think that's how it works. But if we follow him, then we will be given the gift of everlasting life. And I truly believe that.
Absolutely. And as for being more awake, I think it can happen here too, because I have had quite a few incidences where I have been close to death, you know, to the point where I have literally brought my breath back, you know, fighting to stay here. And each time that happens, I feel more awake and I feel more things around me deeper than I felt them before.
Eddie Van
We do
King
become
says,
more awake and more aware.
mm-hmm. If you want to, you could talk about those experiences if you feel comfortable with it.
Oh, yes, I'm a very open person and I can talk about pretty much anything. And mine pretty much came, I think, the first time when I was about 7. I was filled with the Holy Spirit. I did speak in tongues for up to 2 hours. It was the most peaceful feeling I've ever felt in my whole life. There's nothing like it here. And when I came back, the only problem is I felt all the sadness of the world pretty much absorb into me. So I've carried around this depression and fight it off every day through the Holy Spirit. I let the Holy Spirit lead me. I let it speak to me and tell me what job I need to do next. And after that, I thought I had just passed out, but when I woke, what I call woke, I was surrounded by a bunch of ladies who, had their hands in the air, lifting it up, praising, God, and, thanking him for the message they had sent, that the Holy Spirit had sent. And he sent it through a 7-year-old who wasn't really that educated on those things. And so for me, it was really scary. And then, that peaceful feeling I had, I wanted nothing more than to go back and just feel that. And I've looked for it my whole life, and I know it's through the Holy Spirit that I can find it, through prayer, through reading. And so what happened is, this was while I was on vacation at my biological father's. And I go back home after the summer's over. And I had a favorite doll. I'd always wanted a Cabbage Patch. My step-grandmother had gotten it for me, and it was my favorite doll of all time. Funniest name I ever heard, Harry Merrill. That was what was on the certificate. And I wanted to take the best care of that doll, and I would keep that doll on my dresser every night. I didn't even want to sleep with it because I just wanted that doll to last forever. Mm-hmm. Well, one night I heard a thud, and then I heard little pitter-patters of feet going across the floor into the kitchen. I hear a drawer open, and I hear shing, like something had pulled out a knife. How I knew it was the sound of a knife, I don't know, but at that point, I pulled the covers up in my neck, and I was scared to death to the point where I couldn't breathe. And at that point, I screamed for my mother. I hear my mother come making a mad dash through the house and flip on my bedroom light. And lo and behold, my doll is in the middle of the floor with a butcher knife. That happened to me a second time. And after the second time, I told my mother, absolutely not, get this doll away from me. I don't care what you got to do. I had her take it out to the trash barrel and put one of those big white bricks on top. And I promise you, I looked out that living room window up until the trash man took that trash barrel away. It was the scariest things that's ever happened in my life. And, just as I've went through life, I noticed that I have more bad things trying to happen to me. I do understand the whole thing of I'll hang on the cross daily because, I do have the Holy Spirit with me, that send me. And so, yes, I understand I'm going to hang on that cross daily and weird and all that stuff. It's going to the paranormal and everything. It's going to happen to me because they seem to be more, I don't know how you'd want to put, they seem to want to attack those people more. That are really awake, really aware, really kind of know what's going on other than this realm. I remember being 14 and laying on my parents' living room floor, and it was a 2-story home. And I remember either it was a green or a blue, body-sized orb coming down the stairs. But yet again, I did not get a good feeling from that. And I was so scared that I just kind of laid there stiff as a board underneath my blanket, covered like a burrito.
Yeah, and the
so
thing
those
is,
are my 2 stories that I've had, that really have shook me up. I do things like I used to enjoy going to cemeteries. And you could either, just from the smell alone, tell that if it was a good spirit or a bad spirit. If it was good, I would get the smell of flowers, mostly rose. And if it was a bad spirit, I would get the smell of garbage.
You know, the enemy likes to work on children and people who are weak and people who are going through abuse or stuff of that nature, because they know the enemy knows that he can really get to people like that because they're vulnerable. And that's what happens a lot of times is the enemy will attack little children a lot. And um, the other thing is it'll get families to turn against each other, and
Absolutely.
that's when you got to have the spirit. That's when you've got to have the discernment of the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit with that discernment will tell you, no, that's the enemy getting to you. And oftentimes the enemy is the one that wants to keep us down, wants to keep us feeling depressed, wants to keep us feeling despair, you know, and loneliness. That's the enemy causing all of that. So
Absolutely.
we do
I,
have.
I fight with that daily. I've got the good and the bad on each shoulder, and I'm just one that refuses to listen to the negative for too long. And I will always fill it with the positive when I wake up in the morning. As soon as I open my eyes, yeah, I am saying something to to the Lord. Thank you for opening my eyes. Thank you for another day. You know, I just refuse to live in the negative.
That's why it's important to get with the Father whenever possible, you know, and keep reading that Bible and keep saying them prayers, like you said. And, you know, that keeps the enemy at bay a lot of times, and that's another thing the enemy likes to do is attack those who are with the Spirit and those
It
who.
truly does. And during those times, you got to let that positive take over. You got to, believe that it is working as you are praying, and you will be so surprised at the outcome that you get. You just got to truly believe it as you are saying it. And don't say things like, I've noticed I shouldn't have to ask for it. Just know it. Know that it is, and know that it will be.
There you
And
go.
instead of saying, please give me this, say thank you for giving me this.
Mhm. Well said. Very well said. And you know, Nicole Ackerman, it's no problem whatsoever. You speak whatever is on your mind. That's what the comment section is for, you know. And a lot of people go through things. We all do. And you know, if that helps you to get that stuff out when you put it in the comments and to talk to us, we're all friends here, you know, and we all share in the spirit and we all love one another, and that's a good thing. Don't be sorry about, you know, writing what your thoughts or feelings are.
Absolutely not. That's why we're here.
So with that being said, I appreciate you sharing that. That was very awesome of you. And
Oh, you're more than welcome.
one of these days, here pretty soon, next month is October, and I think what would be kind of cool if we shared some Halloween stories, if we shared like ghost stories and stuff like that. I do have a couple things that have happened to me, but I am going to save that for our Halloween special, and I think that would be awesome.
That sounds great to me.
Hmm. Cool, cool, cool. So what we got here? We got Michael Fontaine. We got Eddie Van King, who's been changing his name here constantly. I think it was Eddie Von Kuhn, and then Eddie Van King, and Eddie Von King. I don't know. But anyway, um, Shifty Sunday, Ghost to Ghost. All right. Yeah, I like that.
I do too.
You know, I've had some experiences too when I was real little. I mean, I'm gonna save some of those for the Halloween special. But one of the things is and I don't know if you've ever heard of this before, but the mirror hag. Um, there was a hag, and scientists have wrote this off as sleep paralysis, but I don't really believe that that is sleep paralysis. I think that's, again, evil spirits trying to attack you when you're little. But this mirror hag, which a lot of kids have had this same experience, and I didn't realize that till I got older as an adult, that this is a thing that happens. I saw this green witch-like figure, and she had claws coming out of her hands, and one of those hands reached out of the mirror to try to grab me. And man, I'll tell you what, I'll never forget that experience. And I was awake, because I was awake looking straight in the mirror, and I knew I was awake because I pulled the covers over my head. I pulled the cover over my head and closed my eyes, and I think I said a prayer. And when I returned to having the covers, she was gone. So there is things that does happen to us. I mean, they like to write it off as a well, what's the logical explanation? Well, it could be sleep paralysis. It could be this, it could be that, but I don't believe that. I think that really did happen to me, and I think it really does happen to a lot of kids, because they like to prey on the weak.
They absolutely do, and they love to do that through generations of family.
Mm-hmm. Now, with that all being said, we do have some stuff to talk about. There is one of the main subjects I was going to bring up on here is nursery rhymes and how dark their origins are. But before I do that, I've got a little thing here off of YouTube. It's a YouTube short, and I like to watch these YouTube shorts, and I found this one funny. And then I've got another thing I want to share.
We had a late night chase in LA last night.
Hold on. Another thing I want to share is a man animal that you discovered, that you found, and that'll be on the page as well. That's what we call it when we find strange animals that no one's ever heard of before, because they've been Mandela affected, so we call them manned animals. So
Okay.
Amazon has a manned animal to share with you guys tonight, so that'll be exciting. But before we do that, I got there's a little car chase here. I thought it was kind of funny, and I wanted to share that. So let me go ahead and get my share screen going. And this is a YouTube short, so it kind of reminds you of Grand Theft Auto, and doesn't look like I could blow this up or anything, so.
The suspect was running in a stolen tow truck, and about 20 minutes into the chase, he pulled up to a motorcycle in the middle of the road. It's just sitting there. Like, how the hell does that happen? He just jumped on it, and he took off instantly. Like, I don't have any friends that I would do something like that for. Do you? And in the end, he pulled into an underground parking lot of an apartment building, and he ran into the building before the police got there. They weren't able to track him down, so he just got away. And thanks for watching, and follow for more chase highlights.
There you go.
We had a late night chase in
There you have it. A little chase there. Kind of a Grand Theft Auto type of, if you've ever played that game, Grand Theft Auto, where they go from stealing one vehicle to the next, and you get so many stars before the cops chase you down. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've had friends play that, yeah.
Huh?
I've had friends play that, and I've sat and watched.
But But
they said he got away in a garage. Is that what they said?
Yeah, he hid in a parking garage.
And got away.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But I tell you what, some of those chase videos, when I watch them, I actually kind of root for the guy to get away. I'm like, yeah, get away. Unless he did something dangerous, I guess, like, I don't know, shoot somebody or something like that. But I don't know. It's just something about them. If they're just like stow a vehicle or something. I'm just like, yeah, get away from that cop. All right. I don't know. I'm kind of weird that way. That's just me. Okay. No comment, huh?
Oh, I was just sitting here thinking about how he got away in the garage. Like, where would he have went?
They just turned this, parked the motorcycle somewhere, turned the light off, and just hid,
Yeah, you'd think they would have looked better.
They of course they had that helicopter or drone, whatever it was, following him, and then it couldn't go into the garage, so.
Maybe his bike was so small he got it out a window or something. I don't know. Depends, I guess, on how the parking garage was built.
Oh gosh, what's going on there, Go-Kart Bob? Oh yeah, there's all kinds of. I watched 2 ghost movies last night on TV. Really bad acting, but funny ending. Oh yeah, I like to watch bad movies. The funny ending was the evil spirit ghost won. He took the little girl and killed all the family. Oh my gosh. How is that a funny ending? That sounds horrible. Like, don't most horror movies at least have one survivor? Like, they usually come out with a good ending, like a happy ending mostly.
Well, they've been coming out with quite a few that all they do is come out with a bad ending. And I'm like, well, that was disappointing. I wanted to at least one person make it out.
I like it when they have a twist. Kind of like in The Sixth Sense, where you find out that Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I thought that ending was pretty cool for him to realize that he was the one that was.
But hey, we have a manned animal, and I'm going to share that. And I want you to sort of, let's see here. We got a video here. I wonder if I'm going to be allowed to play it. I don't know if there's any music or not. Where the heck? Okay, let me go ahead and unmute it. Rewind it to the beginning. Now, you found this. This was sent to you on your Facebook feed. Is that right?
Yes. And that's where I saw it. And I was like, well, this animal looks weird. Maybe I should just, read about it and see what it is.
Let me ask you guys something. You guys ever heard of a hairy snake before? Now don't. Let's get the minds out of the gutter here. Yeah. I'm talking about an actual snake, not a, Okay, am I sharing my screen real big?
Yeah, it looks like a decent size to me.
All right, here we go. Look at that thing. You can already see like it's a furry, like little Chewbacca snake. Here we go. Oh, well, what happened there? This is in Thailand. Look at that. Look at that. That's a snake. They think it's a new species. It's thought to be slightly venomous, and they are attribute its slow movements to its ability it has to defend itself with its poison. He says, I've never seen a snake that looked like this before. The animal is found in the family home. Wow. Imagine finding that in your house.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to get too close.
Yeah. That is so weird. Oh, it's got a tongue, too. Swamp moss. So they think that that's moss covering the snake, is what they're saying.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself. Like, yeah, that would make sense, but maybe that's, that's why they're looking into it to make sure it's not moss covered and that it's a real deal.
Mm-hmm. The animal measures about 60 centimeters. Now, I'm not sure how long that is in inches. Like, I know I'm sounding dumb here, but
well, it would be long enough for me. I still wouldn't want to get too close because I've never seen anything like it before.
It's too long, yeah.
And I'm not a snake person to begin with, and then one that's all hairy, yeah. No.
Look at that. Thailand is known for its snake. It would not be surprising if there were a new species. Many of them are highly dangerous, yeah. It could grow up to 2 meters long.
Oh, no.
Whew. That's just creepy. I would think, though, if that were moss, it would come off of it eventually.
You would think that they would be able to, well, I mean, snakes shed to begin with, don't they? Is that every snake, or is it just certain types of snakes?
I think they all shed.
So you would think that eventually that it would shed the moss skin off.
You would think, yeah. This sector includes beaches, dunes, mangrove swamps, and others. Perfect for hosting diverse species. Look at that frog. I think it just looks evil. We're going to observe it. Hold on, wait. What did it say? It said something about slips its own skin. I think. Oh, slips its own theories.
Slips its own theories.
Its own theories, okay. Time and science will tell. Well, there you have it. There's the furry snake. Look at this. Now, what I would think would happen is eventually, it would have babies or something, and you would check those babies to see if they too have the fur on them. And if not, then
and if they mate with another type of species, then therefore we have another new species. I'm sure that happens every day. More and more new species.
I don't know. I call this a mandanum. I would call that. Why doesn't it move? It did move, Eddie. When
Oh
the
yes, and had the tongue and everything.
yeah,
Ooh.
hairy balls. It's a foxtail. No, it's a snake. Snake is what it is, and ooh, man, just creepy. I like you said, I don't even like snakes to begin with, but this thing is creepy as you know what, and I don't like
Yeah, and I would be wondering what it is and wouldn't think of it to be a snake because I've never seen a hairy snake before.
right. Well, I have, but in '70s pornos.
All right. I didn't want to say it. I figured I'd leave that up to you.
Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? Oh,
Yeah, you
sorry.
did. You brought it out.
Yeah. See, you're supposed to be here to keep me in line. That's,
I'm trying.
no. But seriously though, that is crazy. That is crazy stuff. Now, on with the main topic of tonight, and I think this is a very interesting one. Okay, we've got the UK. This comes from the Mirror. You guys have heard of the Mirror. And I think the main one we're talking about here will be the how's that nursery rhyme go? Ashes to ashes, we all fall down. You know that one?
Yeah, ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posy, ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
And
I do believe that's the way it goes. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember.
now, starting right off the bat, I already sort of know what this is about. Like, it's about the Black Plague, and they're talking about like all the people that were dying during about this time that this nursery rhyme was written. So
Yeah.
I do know that much, but we're gonna read the article and we're going to talk about it, and we're gonna see what we can find out here.
All right.
So here we go. There's so from the Mirror, 5 young girls holding hands and skipping in a circle. Beaconsfield, Buckinghamshire, 1952 of May. Plague, sacrifice, and mass executions. Dark meanings behind popular nursery rhymes revealed. So we're gonna read this nursery rhyme, this one particular one, and talk about it, because there's a lot to talk about here. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. From skipping in circles, singing Ring of Roses. Ring of Roses. I don't remember it being that way.
Yeah, I don't either.
I thought it was Ring Around the Rosy. To making arches, and dancing to oranges and lemons. What? Nursery rhymes have long been a staple part of school playgrounds. But while the tunes may seem the embodiment of childhood innocence, the backstories behind some of them are anything but. Tales of the plague deaths, sacrificial burials, and execution have been suggested in the origins behind traditional nursery rhymes. So strap in, because some of these will make you rethink your entire childhood. It's sort of the equivalent of ruining my childhood, I guess. So here we go. Ring o' Roses. I guess that's the official name of it. I don't know. This is like a Mandela effect for
Life's
me.
not a fairy tale, folks, or is it?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're gonna find out. Most people know the origins of the song Ring of Roses." Really? That's what it's called? Not here in the States, pal. Okay, we'll just go with it. But for those who don't, the tune can be dated back to the 18th century and is widely regarded to refer to the plague outbreaks through history, as I talked about. Most likely, the medieval Black Death, which claimed as many as 200 million lives across Europe and Asia. Ill-fated souls to be struck down with the disease would first notice a red ring-shaped rash, hence the rhyme's title, while a tissue clearly references the symptom of sneezing and coughing. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. And it says here, as you can see the picture there, people praying for relief, the the bubonic plague circa 1350. The symptoms, oh, I didn't know it was that early on, of which are described in the popular nursery rhyme Ring of Roses. I can't believe they're calling it Ring of
Ring
Roses.
of Roses. I've never heard it put that way.
No, ring around the roses. And Ring Around the Roses seems like it would make more sense if there was a red ring around roses.
Well, it wouldn't make sense to go ring around the roses, pocket full of posies, because I've never heard it. I always thought it was rosies, or ring around the rosy,
Yeah.
pocket full of posy. Which posy, of course, is a flower, a type of flower, correct?
Yep. But let's dive into this and see what's going on here. What kind of nightmarish nursery rhyme are we dealing with? Long before the days of surgical masks, this sounds familiar. A pocket full of posies refers to small bunches of flowers, as you said, and herbs people would carry to potentially protect themselves from the disease, as well as staving off the foul smells from patients' rotting flesh. Ugh. You could probably guess all too well what we all fall down refers to. Yeah. Oranges and lemons. See, I don't remember this part of the rhyme. Oh, this is a different rhyme. One of the most popular rhymes in English language, which dates back to 1744, several theories have been put forward the meaning behind schoolyard classic oranges and lemons. I don't remember an oranges and lemons rhyme. Do you?
No, I don't either.
Although the song sings of well-known areas in London and its churches, it is likely is remembering the different trades they were associated with. For example, fruit from overseas being Oloft at Old Docks and Thams at Cheapside, where St. Clement's church stands. Okay. However, not as many people will be familiar with the final lines of the rhyme, which sing, "Here comes a candle to light you to bed, and here comes a chopper to chop off your head. Chip, chop, the last man is dead." Oof.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah. Some interpret the sinister final lines as a nod to criminals condemned to death being ridden through London as they are taken to their execution. Back in the 18th century, bell ringers would sound the bells to herald a public execution. Wow. Now here's one I'm familiar with. Here we go around the mulberry bush. According to historian R.S. Duncan, the origins of this nursery classic can be traced to Wakefield Prison in Yorkshire. Known by locals as Monster Mansion, the high security jail has housed inmates including Harold Shipman and Soham killer Ian Hutley. The mulberry bush in this song is actually a real tree on the site around which female prisoners were exercised at the original jail in 1600s. Now, I don't think they're talking about Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies here when they
No,
talk.
I can't imagine so.
It's thought that inmates invented the song to keep their children who were incarcerated with them amused. Sadly, the original mulberry tree the song is rumored to be about was cut down in 2019. Wow.
Oh, wow.
It had a long life, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
After dying. Cuttings have been taken, though, and it's currently being regrown, preserve a piece of heartbreaking yet fascinating history. That's cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a long life.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And it's like a rebirth. It's like they're taking the seeds. It's almost like, how us humans, we give birth to babies in order for us to go on through them.
Yes, multiply.
But here's the picture, and here we go around the mulberry bush, and all that. Okay, now here's London Bridge. Does everybody remember London Bridge?
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. That's
Correct.
how I remember it.
Mm-hmm. So here is the story behind the song London Bridge. Let me take a drink of tea here. Such is the popularity of this rhyme, even Fergie got down to it by sampling it for her 2006 hit. And the song Children from an Archway with their arms, and as it ends, your arms come down. I remember that. And a drop to capture someone inside. I remember doing that. But this game has a chilling backstory. According to My London, there are a number of theories as to where the song originates, including an old Viking war song, but there is one that stands out in particular sinister pertaining to child sacrifice. Oh my. The London Bridge. There's the London Bridge. British folklorist Alice Bertha Gome suggests the song refers to the burying of the children, sometimes alive, due to accident superstitions that the bridge would collapse unless the body of a human sacrifice was buried in its foundations. Grim, right? Yeah. Thankfully, there is no archaeological evidence for any human remains in the foundation of London Bridge. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah. Now, here's another one that I'm sure we're all familiar with. Mary, Mary, quite contrary,
How does your garden grow with All I remember is cockle shells.
Yeah, I see. I remember taco shells. Yeah,
Must be getting hungry.
yeah. Well, I guess when we were kids, we used to sing taco shells. No, maybe we were
Sounds
making.
much better than cockle shells.
But here's the story behind this song. Those who regularly sang this as a child may have assumed it was about gardening advice as adults. The line, "How does your garden grow?" often solicits an immature giggle. Mm-hmm. But contrary, it is an interesting choice of words given that the tune is actually about the reign of Queen Mary, or Bloody Mary, as she is most commonly known today. And that's another
Yes,
like,
with the mirror thing.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
And this is actually a Mandela effect. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
How many times do you remember having to say Bloody Mary?
I just remember being scared of the mirror because of that saying.
But do you remember, like, when someone would dare you to say it, how many times
Oh,
they
yeah.
would?
They said three
3 times. Well,
times.
what if I told you it's actually 5 times?
Oh, wow. Well, I didn't even come close to the three. I
Right.
wasn't a daredevil back then, so I said it about once. But I
No,
was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
I think I was. I don't think I even tried it. Yeah, you call me chicken all day long. I'm not doing that. That's not going to happen. But contrary, isn't it? Oh, I already read that. Okay. So there she is. She looks kind of menacing.
She looks mean.
Yeah. Kind of looks like that guy from Ghostbusters 2 a little bit. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
The bad guy, you know. Not me.
in the portrait.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's his mother.
Could be. Yeah. Mary I's brutal uh, pillaging of Protestants led to hundreds of people being executed, leading to the nursery rhyme, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Ardent Catholic Mary Tudor is remembered for her mass execution of pros- uh, Protestants. I almost said prostitutes. That's a different story for a different time. Some 283 were killed either by beheading or burning at the stake, while hundreds more fled into exile. Silver bills and cockle shells. See, we used to call that taco shells.
Well, taco shells does sound much better.
Yeah, what exactly is a cockle?
Interesting question.
I'm like, maybe
Would
the
that be like
audience.
a cockle shell? Would that be something from like maybe shooting? Has to do with shooting? I mean, shell?
They didn't have. I
No,
don't.
they didn't have those, I guess, yet.
It would have been like musket balls back then, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think they had guns. Did they have guns? Yeah, I guess they had guns. Um, but maybe the
Probably
audience
stuff with
knows.
powder.
Maybe the audience know what a cockle shell is. Maybe they could put it in the comments. You know, cockle shells are actually old terms for torture devices. Oh, it says it right there.
Oh, okay.
It says it.
And the cockle shell was, uh, oh, I remember reading on this before and I've already forgotten it, but I found it to be a very interesting one.
Well, let me see if there's any comments.
There may be more on what the cockle shell is and what kind of a
Yeah.
device it was used for.
So let's read on here. I think there might be a little bit more. No, that's it. There is some comments here though, so maybe some of these people know what cockle shells are. No mention. Okay, well there you go. There's some of your favorite.
What do you think? Anybody out in the audience knows what a cockle shell is? Maybe they can fill us in.
Maybe so. But that's your nursery rhymes. I mean, I always knew nursery rhymes sort of had a dark sort of backstory behind them, but this is interesting stuff. You know what? This might be some more stuff that we could share on our Halloween show. Maybe we could find we could find some stuff for the Halloween show. Some dark nursery
I'm
rhymes.
sure we could, and I'm sure there's tons of that out there, and I'd be more than interested than to listen to more and see what we can find. Talk about it.
Was fun when not buffering. Michael Fontaine says, fun show. It's a shell for your cockle. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Eddie Van King. So not the same as warms my cockles. No, I don't think so, fellow fire. Probably not. Now I know, says Go Kart Bob. But, hey, Go Kart Bob, knowing
A hot dog and a taco shell. Love that.
hey, Go Kart Bob, knowing is half the battle, brother. It really is. But hey, there's some nursery rhymes. I think there's a guy on YouTube. He sort of talks about the old nursery rhymes. He's kind of he's kind of loud, kind of a little bit obnoxious, I think. We've watched him a couple times. You remember that guy? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I do. I vaguely remember.
But he talks about him, and he actually he dresses up in like a suit, but he's like really.
Oh yeah, the guy in the chair in the suit. Yeah, okay.
He really goes into detail about him. But I think one night for our show, we should do an entire, like the dark secrets behind nursery rhymes or something like that.
That sounds great.
So we have, and that's basically. I mean, that's basically all I had for tonight's show. That's all I was going to share. That's all we really had to talk about. And some of the things I wonder about, though, is Rub-a-Dub-Dub, 3 Men in a Tub. That one always kind of bothered me a little bit. It rubbed me the wrong way, if you will. But I think originally, from what I heard, there was supposed to be 3 nursemaids in the tub or something like that. And they changed it. Like there were some nursemaids in the tub with them. And I think they censored it to make it sound better, but it came out sounding worse.
Well, maybe we'll have to look into that one next time when we put more out there. We'll talk about.
Philo Fire. She gets it. Here, I'll put that on the screen. Do you see it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill's a good one. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, and Jack came down with $2.50 or something like that. He went up with what was it? He went up with.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
Well, I was thinking about the Andrew Dice Clay version. It was like
Oh, I don't know. I've never heard that one
he
actually.
went up with $5 and Joe came down with $2.50.
Right,
Applying, they did something up there.
right. Yeah, I get you.
But no, I think we've had a pretty good show tonight. It was kind of a short show.
Yeah, it was a short show. This was our good test run, and I think we had an awesome show.
I think so. I think, hey, we got DD74 in the house tonight. That's good. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give this room a shout out. What do you think about that?
That sounds good to me. Let's do it, Hebrew.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We got DD74, Philo Fire, Go Kart Bob. Can you do you want to do the screeching noise? You know how to do a screeching noise?
No.
No? Like
I do.
tires.
It would sound horrible. Absolutely horrid.
Oh, come on. I think they want to hear it.
I think I'll pass this time.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
There you go. Screeching in. There we go. Got Eddie Fan King, the real one with a wrench. Michael Fontaine. See, you guys say it too.
Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine. See, you'll get used to it.
Yeah, I'll get there.
That's
Michael
our thing.
Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine. And Nicole Ackerman, who has been sent, the comments have been flooding in. That's been awesome. Thank you, Nicole Ackerman, for all your comments. Let's see here. Scrolling. Oh, we had Mark Basket. He was here for a while. And let's see. I think that's it. I think I got everybody. Thanks, everybody, for showing up and chiming in. I know it's, like I said, it's been a short show, but maybe next week we'll have Saji on or something like that. You know what I'm saying? All three of us. That'd be kind of cool.
Maybe we can. This sounds like a good plan.
And I think sometime this week we're going to do a What the Dub. I think we're going to play What the Dub sometime this week. Maybe Thursday or something like that,
Yeah, that sounds fun to me. Let's do it to it.
Do it to it. Let's do it to it. But I want to wish everybody out there a happy Labor Day. Tomorrow we're gonna have a cookout. We're gonna have some ribs and corn on the cob and some potatoes. It ought to be some good
I
eating.
can't wait. Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
So ready.
Yeah. Well, we often talk about food on this show. Usually at the beginning.
You had me at ribs.
I had you. I had you at ribs. Yeah. Hey, bone breaking action slipping in there at the final minutes. Bone breaking. Welcome to the show. Got here in time for the rub a dub dub and the. I like the comments, guys. Way to go.
Oh yeah.
Bone breaking action. He has a stop motion. He does a lot of the stop motion stuff like I do. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. You ought to check out his channel sometime.
I'll have to do that.
And guys, thanks everybody for coming in here and participating in the chat.
Thank you, everyone that was able to join. I was so happy to read the comments. They were fun. Thank you.
And Amazon Line, thank you for being with me tonight and being my new co-host. I really...
Oh, you're more than welcome.
I promise next week we'll have more topics to talk about. And
absolutely.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait. I'm stoked.
Cool. And it's been raining all week this week, and like I said, my My lawn looks like a friggin' jungle. Maybe I should make a video about that. I don't know.
Yeah, you could.
But Friday.
And then we're supposed to get rain like what every day for like a week straight, but one day. It's like, yeah, I don't even want to know the mess that'll come out of that. I love to see nature grow. I'm glad that it's getting fed, but does it just grows so quick you can't keep up with it sometimes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to fall. I never thought I'd say that. And I like fall, but I don't like that it gets dark sooner, and I don't like the cold. That's the one thing I'm not looking forward to is the cold.
Yes, I don't like the cold. By fall, it drops in those 60s and especially 50s. I'm already dressed like an Eskimo, but I think the bonfires, that we can go to, can make up for it very well. I love my bonfires. I've already been to one. And as those who got to hear the story or will hear the story knows, that a branch fell on my foot and I burned that sucker good a couple nights ago. And I was so glad to see it gone.
Let me ask you this. When you burnt that branch, did you say, take that, you stupid MRFer?
Oh, I sure did. I wanted to dance around the fire.
Oh, man.
But I kind of had a, hurt foot.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll do like a bonfire thing for my birthday or something.
Oh, sounds fun.
We'll have some chili, have some hot dogs, marshmallows. But
See,
yeah.
Wildfire knows what's going on. She loves them bonfires.
Oh yeah, karma
Yeah,
for the
definitely karma for that wood.
Yeah, that's one wood that got taught a lesson.
I sure did.
Yeah. So take that, Mother Nature. But no, seriously though, I had a good time tonight with you and with the audience as well. You guys have been great.
Yes, thank you. I had a blast.
And you did really good your first time out. I just wanted to tell you that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm looking forward to doing it again next week.
All right, let's do it to it.
Let's close this thing. Good night, everybody.
All righty. Good night, all. See you next week.
You guys all enjoy the rest of your extended weekend, and we'll see you next time on Shifty Sunday. Good night, everybody. However, oops.